Sangha is very rare to occur in this world. So we have got that opportunity to listen to this very rare Dhamma, pure Dhamma. And if we are able to listen to that, and if we are able to understand that, that is what we have been lacking throughout this sansaric journey. And understanding or opening up that eyes of wisdom and completing the pathway and ending this sansaric journey would be the end of the chapter of suffering. So to do that, before starting the discussion, let us remind ourselves about all the meritorious deeds that we have done during this lifetime as well as during the previous lives. So we have been we have been worshipping Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, we have been doing alms givings, we have been doing other various kinds of things, listening to Dhamma and thinking about, contemplating about Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta. These everything we have done like that are meritorious deeds. So all of that meritorious power may agglomerate together, creating the perfect environment for us to understand Supreme Dhamma internally as well as externally. Internal in the sense the mind may become free of Pancha Nivarana, and may everyone be able to understand this Supreme Dhamma without any hindrances or barriers. And the external environment, meaning the surrounding, may become calm and quiet, and may everyone be able to listen to Ariya Dhamma without any disturbances or noises and various sounds. So with that determination or with that thought in mind, accept this with sadhukara.
Sadhu,
Sadhu,
sadhu.
sadhu, sadhu.
And also let us think about a moment, think for a moment about all the unwholesome deeds that we might have done during this sansaric journey. Since we have avidya in ourselves, or we are taking decisions based on avidya, we might have taken wrong decisions, especially 10 unwholesome acts towards other sentient beings. So during this sansaric journey, we might have encountered many Buddha sasanas, and during those Buddha sasanas, we might have hurted and harmed and done various unwholesome things towards Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, and also Mahabodhisattvas and other Bodhisattvas as well. So let us acknowledge our faults in this special occasion, and let us determine ourselves that we are not going to do those kinds of wrongdoings again. And with this determination in mind, let us seek forgiveness. By forgiveness in Buddha Sasana, it means that we are acknowledging our faults and we are correcting them. And we are not going to do those things again. And that is the forgiveness in Buddha Sasana. So let us seek forgiveness in front of Supreme Buddhas, and let us imagine that Supreme Buddhas are in front of us, and we are seeking forgiveness in front of them. So accept this with a sadhukara, seeking forgiveness from the triple gems.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So let us start with the discussion. So initially, there are a few questions that have been posted to the WhatsApp chat. So there's a question regarding that Citta Mano Manasang Hadayang Panarang Mano Manayatanang Mani Indriyang Vinnana Vinnana Kando. So The question is, in the case of normal sentient beings, do all sentient beings progress from stage 1 to stage 9? So, because everyone reaches the Vinnana stage. So the confusion is this, because when we talk about Vinnana, this Vinnana, the term Vinnana has various meanings. So at one point we are talking about Rupa Vedana Sanya Sankara Vinnana. That's one Vinnana. And in another sermon we are discussing about Citta Mano Manasang Hadayang Pandarang Mano Manayatana Manindriyang Vinnanang and Vinnana Kando. So there's this Vinnana. And we also know that when eyes and images meet, we get the Chakku Vinnana. And respectively, we get Sota Vinnana, Ghana Vinnana, Jivha Vinnana, Kaya Vinnana, and Mano Vinnana. So these Vinnyanas also are named as the same, the sound is the same, but we have to go in depth about the meanings here. So we have discussed how Nama Rupa, then the meaning of Nama Rupa changes depending on the context. So at one point, Nama Rupa means Nama means the name, and Rupa means the image of it. And another instance, Nama Rupa means Nama means the Vedana Sanya Sankara Vinnana, and Rupa means the Rupa. Oh, so depending on the context, we have to understand that these meanings has a slight, they are interconnected anyway. So you can see Nama Rupa has a connection. All the versions of Nama Rupa has their own connections with each other, but they are different because in the context, it is something like this. So it polishes, or it emphasizes one side of Nama Rupa in that context, and in another context it emphasizes another aspect of Nama Rupa. So if we did not know how to emphasize the meaning of the word, we would not be able to understand what is being said in that sermon. So for Vijnana also it's the same. So for Vinnana has a very basic meaning of consciousness. So the meaning of Vinnana has a very wide variety. So one of them is, very basic one is consciousness. So we are conscious about seeing. That is Chakku Vinnana. We feel that we are seeing, and we are conscious about seeing. So the better word is conscious. So we are conscious about hearing, and this is Sota Vinnana. And we are conscious about listening. We are conscious about tasting, touching, and thinking. So that consciousness is there. So that is Vinnana. So this Vinnana is basic for everybody. So without consciousness, there's no mindfulness or anything. So consciousness is a basic part. So without a consciousness, there's no Vedana, Sanya, Sankara. So if there's no Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, then there's no feeling or sense of life, or the sense that you are living. Anything like that would not be there. So it would be just a Rupa, just like somebody born in the Asanya plane. So it's just the Rupa, no Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vinnana, at least for a time period. So it's just like the Sanya, Vedayita, Nirodha. Again, there's the Rupa, but no Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vinnana. So Vinnana, if Vinnana is not there, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara also would not be there. So the consciousness is a vital part of living. So it is common for even Arihats as well as normal sentient beings. So the difference between this Vinnana and the Vinnana which we talk in this Citta Mano Manasang Hadayang Pandarang Mano Manayatanam Mani Indriyang Vinnanang Vinnana Kandu is it is a totally different explanation about how defilements are being created. So here the Vinnana is in the context of Vikurti Jnana. So we have the Prakurti Jnana and Vikurti Jnana. The Prakurti means, it's a Sanskrit word. They are the Prakurti, the Sanskrit meaning of the Sanskrit word is the reality, something like reality. So it's the truth. So Prakurti Jnana creates the Prajna. You get the sound when it is compressed together, you get the sound Prajna. And Vikurti Jnana is now Prakurti means the reality, truth. Vikurti means the distorted or wrong. You can say it is distorted, it is corrupted, something like that. So the Vikurti Jnana gives the Vinnana. So we have known that Vinnana is an illusion. If you remember this Kammatthana, where we have recited Rupa, the lump of form is essenceless, Rupa is essenceless, and the water bubble is essenceless, Vedana is essenceless, and mirage is essenceless, Sanya is essenceless, and plant and trunk is essenceless, and Sankhara is essenceless. And at the end, we have Vinnana is essenceless because it is like an illusion. Illusion is essenceless. So it is like an illusion, though even we know that Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vinnana, all five is there even in an Arihat. So they know the essenceless nature. That's the difference. We are trying to understand it. We are trying to perfect it. And when we have completed that task, then we would also know that Rupa is essenceless, Vedana is essenceless, and everything, all the Panchaskandha is essenceless, so that Pancha Upadana Skandha would not be created. So until that, we are not fully able to understand. We are partly understanding it, and we are trying to complete that. So that is the Seka pathway, or the practitioner, or the one who practices. So the one who practices, that means Sotapanna Magga to Arihat Magga, until Arihat state. So in between that is a person who have understood it but not fully, or who have understood it but not completed the wisdom. So in that, so the difference is, so even an Arihat has Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vinnana. So all the five items are there even in an Arihat. So what an Arihat feels, that means the consciousness, is an illusion anyway, but he knows it. So how does that happen? So we have to go to the Citta Mano Manasang to understand this better. So we'll go there after understanding this the other part, where we have to understand that a normal person has this Vinnana, and that person does not know that it's an illusion. So the person is deceived by that illusion. So that person gets attached to that illusion and seeks that illusion again and again, and that creates a craving or a expectation, or and that leads to various problems like fighting and lying, and all the 10 unwholesome acts come to play when that happens. So that does not happen in an Arihat. So Vinnana state is there, but the difference is this. So the consciousness comes with a distorted view. But Arihat knows this. Arihat knows that it is distorted. The normal person, or the sentient, or we what we call is the normal sentient being, does not know that it's an illusion. So the person gets deceived. So we have to go through these 9 steps again one more time. We have done that before, but we'll go through that again just to answer this question: how Vinnana changes from point to point, or sermon to sermon, or the text, the context to context. So I'll screen share, and it's easier if I could write it down. Can everyone see?
Yes, one.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll go with this. So we have 9 components here. So we'll go through the I. So Citta here is the ability, or we are saying it as ability of the mind to feel and process. Or so we have the ability to see, not with the eye, because eyes are not the primary component that is needed for vision. Yes, eyes are a component, but it is not the most important component. It's the mind. So we see with the mind, not with the eye. That's why we can get out of this body with our astral body and still be able to see. If somebody is able to do that kind of a act. So it's not the eye that is essential for seeing, it's the mind, because mind is what sees. So mind is what hears, and it goes on for all the 6 items. So Citta is the ability of the mind to see, hear, and another modality, and to process other modalities as well. So Citta, and the Arihat mind is at Citta if there's nothing needed or nothing important pops up. That means, let's say Arihat wants to do an Arihat person wants to do a sermon, then Citta state would not be enough. So you have to go to Manasa. Again, an Arihat person needs to go Pindapata, or go for food, go look for food. So in that instance also, we need manasa. The chitta state would not be enough. Chitta is just like, let's say, a river is flowing, the river of thoughts, river of stimuli, let's say a river of stimuli is passed through our eyes, through our ears, through our nose, tongue, body, and mind. So constantly, if our eyes are open, constantly we are seeing. If our ears are open, constantly we are hearing. If our tongue is working, nose is working, skin is working, constantly we are feeling. And if our mind is awake, constantly we are thoughts are coming to our mind. So we feel that it's six streams that are functioning concurrently, simultaneously. But the truth is, even though these six, especially these 5 streams, Chakku, Sota, Gana, Jivha, Kaya, though they these streams are working or functioning at the same time, the soul mind, or the primary organ, which is the mind, is what processes them. Since mind is just one organ, it can only process one thing at a time, but the speed is very high, but only one thing at a time. So if something comes through the eyes, then you cannot process anything else. That means stimuli coming from the ear, nose, tongue, or body at the same time. So it's the stimuli from the eye. Then after that ends, this is the mind is often for something else. So it changes to stimuli from the ear, maybe again the eye, maybe again the nose and tongue, and again eye. So when this happens in a very high speed, we feel like we are able to do several things, or we are able to feel several stimuli at the same time. Think about this moment. You are looking at the screen, you are listening to this voice, and you feel the touch of the cushion or the chair or whatever you are seated on. And if there's something cooking in the kitchen, you will be able to smell that as well. And if you're a toffee or something in your mouth, you would be able to feel the taste as well. But since the system is very high speed, you feel that everything happens at the same time, but only one at a time. So let's say you have this ability to think, you have this ability to process, but you know that it's a nuisance, it's a suffering, it's a form of a suffering, the slightest suffering, we can say. It's a very slight, it's very minute, but it's a suffering. Because if you are able to stay without focusing on any of these 5 and 6, Chakku, Sota, Gana, Jivha, Kaya, and Mana. So if you are able to stop going after these organs, 6 organs, and if you are able to stay calm and quiet inside without focusing on any of these, then you would be able to achieve the chitta state. That is what one would achieve when someone attains the 4th Ariya Dhamma, the samapatti of it. So when somebody achieves the 4th dhyana, fourth Ariya Dhamma Samapatti, you would be able to feel the pure form of the mind, which is the ability to take in stimuli from eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. The ability to feel and be conscious about these 6 stimuli. So other than that, an Arihat person would anyway be, it's the default of them. So other than that, a normal person would not be able to feel that state. We are able to feel that state with our wisdom. We are listening to this and we are processing it, and we are able to half understand or partly contemplate on what is being said, but we will not be able to experience it until we become Arihat or achieve the fourth Dhyana Samapatti state, Arya Dhyana Samapatti state. So in this Citta state, one would be for a normal person who has this Citta state cannot stay in the Citta state. And why? Because that person has avijja. You know, avijja has a component where that person is looking for some good or some essence or some value in the external world. And how do we look for good, valuable, essential things in the external world? Through our eyes, through our ears, through our nose, tongue, body, and mind. So let's go through an example and try to understand this. So let's say you are in the house, you are in your home, and there are 6 doors, and these doors and you are waiting for something important. So let's say you have ordered something from the internet or from an app. So you are and this item that you have ordered is very expensive, and you are in urgent need of having that. So you are seated in your house, and you know that in few moments this person would be at the door, and he will be ringing the bell. And there are 6 bells, and there are 6 doors, but to the same house. So you are seated in the chair, restless, looking for somebody to knock on the door. So that is the nature of avijja. So you have 6 doors: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. So if you have avijja, you cannot stay in the Citta state, because as soon as someone knocks on the door, you go and open it, and then goes to Mano and Manasang and Hadayang and ends up in Vinnana Kando. So that's what happens. So you have this mental state, which is all of us, except an Arihat, would have this mental state, which is called avijja, mental nature, which is avijja. And this nature of avijja is it's constantly looking for something good, valuable. And if you are able to understand fully that there are nothing that valuable or full of essence, and the world is essenceless, then however much the door is knocked from the outside, doors are knocked from the outside, you would not be opening those doors, at least automatically or willingly. So if you open the door, it is for some reason, just as I explained, to find food, because you are in pain, you are in suffering. So you have to somehow treat this the hunger. And if you are thirsty, you need to treat that. You have to quench your thirst. So if you are if you want to do a sermon or tell somebody about this amazing information or amazing message of Dhamma, then out of metta, out of karuna, out of mudita, out of upekha, then again that state would be broken, and Mano and Manasang would be would be exercised, we can say. So other than that, so the chitta state of a arihat is different from a chitta state of a normal person. So in the normal person's chitta state is still you cannot stay because you have the avidya component in it, and so because of that you cannot stay in the chitta, you will end up in the vinnana khandha. So the difference between an arihat and a normal person is in the arihat's chitta state there's no avidya. Because of that there's no progressing from chitta state. If you want to progress from chitta state, then that is by doing extra work, and that is tiring. So you would not do that willingly. So for example, so let's say, so somebody likes solving math problems. So if somebody likes solving math problems and another person is there and another individual, and this individual does not like solving maths problems because he's not good at maths. The first person is very good at maths, so he likes solving math problems. So for the two people, if you give the same number of math questions and same mathematical questions, and these two individuals are solving the mathematical questions, at the end of the test, if you ask from the two individuals, was it tiring or was it not tiring? The first one would say it is not tiring because he enjoyed it. The second person would say it's very tiring to my mind and I don't want to do this again. So the second person would feel that the tiring nature more, or tiredness more. Tiring is suffering, so the second person would feel the suffering nature more. And the first person also went through the same suffering because he also solved the same math problems and he also solved the same the number of math questions. So, but the difference is his suffering nature, or the sankhara dukkha, is covered up by the this what we call the gratification here, or the blissful sensation, or the happiness, or the asada. So asada covers up this person's the sankhara dukkha. But there's the sankhara dukkha. So if you give another math question, let's say there's a math question showed at the computer screen or at the television screen, a moderately hard question. So as soon as the first person sees it, his mind races towards the answer. His mind automatically tries to find the answer. But if the same question was shown to the second person, he would not do that. His mind would not automatically go and look for answers to that question because he feels the tiring nature more. But the first person's tiredness or suffering is covered up with the excitement. So the same thing happens with an arihat. So arihat knows that this world is of no essence. So when that is the case, when external stimuli are at the door, knocking the doors, you feel that sankhara dukkha. So it's something like this. You are seated in the chair at your home, and the door is knocked, and you know exactly that there's nothing good coming out of that or through that doors. So you have perfect understanding that there's nothing valuable coming, nothing valuable are going to come from these 6 doors. So would you be standing up? Would you be walking towards the door, or would you be opening the doors? No, you would not be. You would not care. I don't care who knocks on the door. I am just staying. I am being peaceful. I'm not going to open these doors. I am happy and blissful, and I like this state. And that this is an example, of course. This is not what an Arihat would be thinking. So I am trying to explain what a Arihat mind would be like, because of and why that would not pass the Citta state. So that is the example of an Arihat. So for the other person, it's the pizza man. It's the important thing you ordered from some website. So it is coming at the door. So you feel like there's importance, there's essence, there's something valuable at the door. So you cannot stay in your chair. You are just jumping out of the chair and running to the door and opening up the door and doing whatever necessary. So you cannot stay at the chair. So that is the Citta state of a normal person, and the previous example is the Citta state of a Arihat. So that's the difference. So why Citta is also now, what is the difference of this Vinnana here at the 8th place, and now the Vinnana Kanda at the 9th place, and what is the difference between these two, or this Vinnana and the Vinnana and of what everybody has, or so Chakku Vinnana, Sota Vinnana, and everything. So, and why both are called Vinnana? So there are a similarity in one way and dissimilarities in others. So it has both similarities and dissimilarities. Because of the similarities, it has the same name. Because it has dissimilarities, we cannot put that in the same box, or we cannot say that it's the same thing. Now, in the Citta, we understand now something, when something is coming in through your eyes. Now we'll get the eye as an example. Eye, images, and Chakku Vinnana as the example to understand everything up until the 9th stage. So Citta, what is the Citta state of seeing something? So your eyes are working, and there are images in the outside world, and there's light. So if these three things are there, and you have a conscious mind, or you are alive, so what happens? Light rays are reflected from the object to your eyes, and that comes to your retina and changed into electrical signals, and everything, the mechanism happens. And at the end of the mechanism, what you would be seeing is a dot of color. So that is Citta state, just a dot of color. So that is also not that is also something created out of avijja, the previous avijja, because this body, these eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind, everything is reason. The reason for this is the previous avijja and tanha. So previous avijja and tanha created this body and mind, and the previous avijja and tanha created the external world as well. So both are creations of avijja, and both are, in that sense, both are corrupted, wrong, and distorted things, because it was the original. If the origin is distorted, so the result of that is also distorted. So everything that we are experiencing in a world that is created out of avijja is again corrupted and distorted. So we would not be able to experience the truth using the eye. We would not be able to experience the truth using the ears, or tongue, body, and mind. Tongue, and nose, tongue, body, and mind. So especially the 5 senses. So it is the wisdom which opens up the reality. not the external thoughts or thoughts that are being created initially. It's a special Chaitasika, which is called Prajna Chaitasika, that is needed to open up the eyes of wisdom. So other than that, the world is created out of avijja. And this, the world created out of avijja is, since avijja is a distortion, avijja is a corruption, avijja is the not the truth, or avijja is a lie, then the product of avijja is also become a distorted thing. So the chakku vinyana, the dot, color dot, that consciousness cannot give you, that itself cannot give you the truth. So in that sense, it is a vinyana. But it can be helped, or it can be used. For example, we are saying that the word the Vedana is like a water bubble. So water bubble is something that is in the world, but we use that as an example to understand what Vedana is like and to open up the eyes of wisdom. For that kind of a purpose, you can use that. But water bubble itself, seeing or looking at a water bubble only cannot open up the reality, because it is something that is grasped with 5 senses. So you would not be able to grasp wisdom with feeling. Feeling is something you feel through your eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. It is the wisdom that would open up the eyes of the reality. So that is the difference. So Citta state, even though that is also there in an Arihat, or the Chakku Vinyana, Sota Vinyana, and everything is also there in an Arihat, that is also called Vinyana, because that is an illusion of avijja. Body is created out of avijja, images were created out of avijja, and the meeting of those two created the vinyana, the point, chitta state, and that is also an avijja. That is also a product of avijja. So the previous product of avijja. But since avijja is not there in an arihat's mind, that chakku vinyana has the component of previous avijja, but not the component of current avijja. So you don't have that avijja component right now, but the body is made of avijja and the external world is also made of avijja. So anyway, you would be seeing an illusion. So you know the illusion is an illusion, but it is an illusion. So in that sense, it's a vinyana. So the vinyana, or the illusion, would be intensifying as you go down the ladder, or as you go down Mano, Manasang, Hadayang, and everything. So what happens at Chitta state is just minute illusion. And that illusion would increase to Mano and Manasang. But still an Arihat knows it's an illusion, because it does not have the avijja. So what is Mano? So if you have, I'll draw this. So this is 1 dot, right? So this is 2 dots, 3 dots, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now what did you get? Now you get a letter, I. So that is a combination of dots. So you see the illusion. It is just dots in different places of space, or let's say a plain paper. So that created another illusion, which is I. Now we keep more dots. So I'm not good at 3D drawings. Anyway, Now what you get? Oh, I think you get the idea. I'm not good at drawing. So you get a 3D eye. So again, in the Mano state, you get reading. So you have the length, height, and depth. So you have this. So the length, width, and the height. So the three parameters, X, Y, Z. So you have the three parameters. These three parameters give you a 3D picture. And you just have the what do you call the metrics or the measurings of these things. You know the exact measurings, what is the width, what is the length, and what is the height, and everything. You know everything. But since this state is achieved, Manasam, you would not be able to recognize that this is I. Now, what do is you go to your memory and you compare with past experience. If you have learned English and if you know the word letter I, then you would be recognizing this as I because it is the most similar thing that is there in your directory, the history or the memory. So you recognize that as I, the letter I. The same thing happens. When Citta is there, it's just dots. Let's say a stream of dots going in the river of time to the ocean of history. So there's this stream. We are giving this example for the I. So there's this stream of dots going in the ocean the river of time towards the ocean of past or history. So it will be joining the history or joining the past, and the river would be constantly flowing. So you are just seeing dots, and apart from dots, nothing would be able to contemplate. So that's the Citta state. So you are in the house, all the doors are closed, you don't know what happens in the external world. Yes, there's the knocking, but you are not going to go and look for the I. So the I is there, it is happening, but you are not going to process that towards the letter. So what happens when an Arihat wants to do that? When an Arihat wants to do that, it is out of a reason. So he opens up he actively looks. He has this effect of seeing. So the seeing is there, hearing is there, but though hearing is there, just like when we are doing something very, very important, maybe there's a alarm at your house or some a dump truck or a house or a car nearby was honking, or something is happening, or a dog is barking at the next door. But since you are very, very focused at your work, you did not hear that. And your cousin or the sibling or parent comes and asks, can't you hear the dog is barking? And it's barking so loud. But you would be saying, no, I did not hear. Because you are so into another thing. So you are doing something very important and very focused at that point. Just like that, since avijja is not there, that arihat is focused on nibbana. So it's just like focusing on something else. You are not focusing on anything, but still have that state. You did not hear the barking because you are not, because of your ears are blocked or not working. Your ears were fine. You could hear, or the sound wave came to your ear, and your tympanic membrane or the eardrum was vibrating accordingly. but still you did not hear the barking of the dog. Just like that Arihat individual, the person, would not be focusing on that. We are automatically focusing because we have the avijja, and as soon as something hits or knocks on the door, we go and open. And we want to know what that is. Is it our dog? Is it the dog of the other house? Or is it a stray dog? Why is he barking? Maybe thieves are at the other door, other person's or next door. Maybe I should call the police. 1001 things are coming to our minds. So that's the difference. So that chitta state and Arihat person's chitta state is different. So the Mano state of an Arihat and Manasang state of an Arihat is also different. So in this Mano state, there's no avijja. Manasang state, still there's no avijja. So because of that, there would not be any way there. You cannot exceed this point. An Arihat cannot exceed after Manasang. It is not possible because there's no avijja. So at Mano state, you have the measurings of height, width. So for seeing and for sight, you have height, width, and these parameters. And for hearing, it's a total different set of parameters. Anyway, you have some kind of a measuring. So, and you measure with the past experience, past memories, and you compare, and you come to a conclusion that this is this. And this happens at a very high speed, and you don't be able to experience these stages anyway. So the illusion intensifies as you go down, if you can understand. So it was just millions or billions of dots in a 3D space initially, and then you combined it and saw a shape, and then you understood that this is a person. And since you have avijja, this is my mother, this is my husband, this is my wife, this is my child, everything comes, and then hadayang occurs. And at hadayang level, the illusion is again increasing. Now the illusion is so high, and it develops to pandarang, or it becomes intensified, and your mind becomes what do you call a manayatana, or your mind becomes a manayatana, or a place, or what do we call it? It becomes negative. Let's say it becomes negative. Initially the mind was neutral. Now the mind is negative, and this mano is initially it is neutral. Initially the mind was just neutral, not positive or negative. But since this becomes negative, this is perceived as positive. So that is the experience of another level of distortion. Now you are experiencing something neutral as something positive. And Manindriyam means it becomes the major organ. All the other organs are suppressed at that point, and you are experiencing a totally distorted version now. And you combine all three, which is past, present, and future, and you get a kanda. Kanda means a mountain. So Vinnana means this, Vinnana plus kanda. Kanda means a mountain. Initially you had a very small amount, just a Vinnana at a certain point, at a certain time, and you have gathered all of that from the past, from the present, and you are projecting that to the future as well, and you have created a mountain of Vinnana. That is Vinnana Kando. So the level of illusion has increased from Citta to Vinnana. So this is also illusion. Not that it is not illusion. Arihat also experiencing the illusion, but he knows that it is an illusion. Thus, there's no avijja. So the normal person does not know that it is illusion. So it is with avijja and it progresses until Vinnana Kando. And you would be seeing something different. So I hope you understand what. Now, if you summarize the answer, so we have Vinnana here, 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 and here. But we call this Vinnana because the level of Vinnana is so high there. We call this is Vinnana because there's some sort of distortion at that level as well. But since what we want to eliminate is this Vinnana, we are talking that we have to, Vinnana should be Nirodha, or it should be, in another words, should be, we should stop that from arising. So that is Nirodha. So Vinnana should be stopped from arising. That is Avijja Nirodho, Sankara Nirodho, Vinnana Nirodha. So that Vinnana is this Vinnana. So what we have to eliminate. So to do that, we have the Kusala Mula Paticca Samuppada. So we have to think as Anicca, Dukkha, and Anatta. When that is being done, the level of avijja is reducing. The layers and layers of avijja are removed. Layer by layer, it is removed. When it is fully removed, you would be able to experience the suffering is becoming less. That is how we are understanding that avijja is reducing. So at the end, when the avijja is fully eliminated, or when avijja is not arising again like before, because our mind is constantly arising and it is end up in demise, arising and in demise, and in between viparinama. So Upada Titi Bhanga means that. So we have a Upada, or we have a rising, and that is being deteriorated, and at the end it is and it ends up in demise. So that is how this works. So in this moment, in this second, billions and trillions of minds are being arised, and it is deteriorated and ends in demise. Millions and billions of them. So if somebody's avijja stops arising, and that is not elimination of avijja, that is avijja not arising again from this point onwards. Because from previous in previous chittas, we had avijja, and from this point onwards, we don't have avijja. So it's not that it was there and got eliminated. It is that the previously avijja ends in demise, and it did not arise again because there were no causes for that to arise. Causes of avijja was removed or did not arise, so the avijja did not arise. And the effects of avijja also did not arise. So ragakyo has happened, dvesakyo has happened, and mohakyo has happened. So that is the answer to this question. So I think we have discussed the Vinnana, Chakku Vinnana, Sota Vinnana, and that Vinnana style. And we have discussed this Vinnana here in the paper. That is the 8th stage of corruption, or we can say the 9th stage of impurified nature of the mind. So the mind is impurified in 9 stages. So this is the 8th stage, which is called Vinnana, and we have discussed that as well. And we know what Vinnana Skandha means. So Rupa Skandha, Vedana Skandha, Sanya Skandha, Sankara Skandha, and Vinnana Skandha. So not the Vinnana Upadana Skandha. This is the Vinnana Skandha. Now that is, again, we have to good that it popped up, so we can finish that as well. So what is the difference between Vinnana Skandha and Vinnana Upadana Skandha? So let's say Vinnana Skandha here. Again, we'll get that old template, template where we discussed how defilements are being created. Citta, Mano, Manasang, and so here we have in this stage, which is Manasang, we said that you have the object here. Now you have to compare it with your past experience. Otherwise, you would not be able to. That is called Manasang. So you have to compare it with the past memories and identify that this is that, this is this, and everything. So for this to happen, you have to have memory. And in this memory, you have past Vinnana. You have, and this past Vinnana, past Vedana, past Sankara, past Rupa, past Vedana, past Sanya, past Sankara, past Vinnana. So you have that blueprint, or the nature, or let's say the shape. Shape is a better word. You have the shape of these Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vinnana in the Namagotta. So that Namagotta, so from that Namagotta, you would be let's say retrieving that. Your mind would be retrieving that past data and compare it with this, and you would be able to understand that this is I. So let's say this is a person. So this is let's say mother. So the Arihat would be able to understand when you search the database, then the shape of the mother is there. So Arihat would be able to understand this is his mother. So that is Vinnana Skandha. It is there, the Rupa Skandha. So we have to add these things as well, because the Vinnana Skandha cannot stay alone. So Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, everything is there, and Vinnana Skandha. Rupa Skandha, Vedana Skandha, Sanya Skandha, Sankara Skandha, and Vinnana Skandha. So the difference is here, you don't have that Vinnana Upadana Skandha. So Avidya and Tanha is not acting here. So the memory which comes here is a purified memory. You know that you had this avidya earlier, and you were attached to your mother, and you saw the mother in a different way previously. That is also there, but when you are recognizing it right now, there come the pure form of recognition. You just recognize as what it is. You don't cover up with the layers of avidya. But here, when this happens, since you have the avidya with it, you are recognizing here after hadayang, after with manasang, you have that the pool of full of memory, which has Vinnana, the things that could fit into Vinnana Kanda, as well as things that could fit into Vinnana Upadana Kanda. There's a mix because you have not completed the Aripate, fully has not fully understood the Aripat, or completed the Ari wisdom and fully eliminated the avijja. So that since that has not happened, things come to your mind is some things are full of the wrong understanding or wrong distorted view is still there. So the manasang, the Vinnana Kanda is with avijja. The Vinnana Upadana Skandha is with avijja. Vinnana Kanda is without avijja. So that's the difference in this Vinnana Kanda and Vinnana Upadana Kanda. So here, when we are talking about this Vinnana Kanda, it falls under this. So everything is that falls under Vinnana Kanda falls into Vinnana Upadana Kanda here. If we go to the template of 5 aggregates. So I think that's clear. If you don't understand the last part or any part that we have discussed, then put put the question into the chat, or you can speak up and we can have the discussion based on that. Otherwise, we can, and if anybody else having any questions regarding anything, you can put that also to the chat box, and we'll go through a very important topic. And I thought of telling this to you because it is an important part that we have to understand. This is practically how we are going to complete the Ari pathway. So the questions that everyone is posting most of the time are mostly technical questions. So there's these 3 phases. So this is what I am saying, and I have experienced. There are 3 phases when we are practicing the Aripati. The first phase is where we are looking for the truth. So we have listened to some Dhamma and you understand that there's a truth in it, and you want to you are sincerely you want to get rid of this sansaric journey, or you want to hop out of this suffering cycle of sansara. So you want to do that, and you feel like you're still lacking the important points that you want to complete that Aripati. So it is something like this. You want to complete the journey, but you feel like you still don't know the correct pathway, or you don't know the correct road. So still you are looking for directions. You are asking from people, how am I going to go to that specific place? Can you tell me the pathway? Can you tell me directions? So you would be asking others, and you would be listening to Dhamma, and you would be having discussions, and this is the first phase. We call this as dasanena pahatabba. This is the first stage, and then comes to the second stage, and in the second stage, you are still not completed. You have not fully understood everything, but you are confident enough that you have understood something, and you are confident enough that you can practice the Aripati, maybe not alone, but to a certain extent, not fully alone, but to a certain extent. So you are practicing now while you are practicing, still you are asking questions and you are trying to fill in the gaps. That is the second stage. And there's this third stage. Once you have maybe you have attained the anagami state or so, or you have become fully aware of Dhamma and how it works and everything, with experience, not with let's say with text and everything, not with books and everything, but with experience. When you have understood what Dhamma is, then that comes the third stage where you are not looking for external Dhamma anymore. You are not looking for more tips and tricks in Dhamma, but you are focused on the pathway and practicing itself, and that completes the pathway, and then you have ended the path. You have ended everything that needs to be done, completed everything that needs to be done. So these are few stages that I feel that there is in this Arya pathway. So in the first stage, you have to find the point where you are coming from the first stage to the second stage. So in the first stage, you are still lacking vital knowledge, so you are looking for vital knowledge. So in this stage, if you don't correctly understand how this Arya Dhamma, or how to handle Arya Dhamma, how to handle Buddha Dhamma, then you would be doing a act of learning more than an act of developing wisdom. So it happens to everybody because we are influenced by the work of science, the modern science. Because in the in modern science and modern education, we are developing the intellect, or we are developing the ability to what do you call, gather information and applying that information. So gathering information and applying that information is everything that is taught in our the Western way of education. So it is influenced to everybody in the world. So that is what we are doing. So if we apply the same principle to the Dhamma, that becomes a problem, because we would be eventually, when we are learning Dhamma, it should get simplified. It should get easier, not the other way around. If you feel like you are going deeper and deeper, and let's say you are digging a hole, and you are going deeper and deeper, now you feel that oxygen is getting low, and you feel that it is getting harder and harder to go deeper. If you are digging a hole, then this is not the way, because it should be the other way around. You are in the hole, or you are inside the crust of the earth. You are not in the outside. If we are in the outside, you are trying to go. If you think you are in the outside, what you are trying to do is you are trying to dig a hole and go in depth, finding a solution. But you have to understand that you are not in the outside. You are in the crust of the earth, and you are digging the hole to the outside of the world. So then when you do that, it should become easier. When you dig the hole from inside to outside, it becomes easier. The oxygen level may be increasing. Maybe you feel that the warmth is reducing, and you feel that when that is happening, it is feel like you are coming to the core, or the crust, or the, let's say, the surface of the earth, not the other way around. So it should become easier day by day. Let's say day by day might be a wrong calculation there. Maybe gradually, it can take months, it can take years, but gradually you should feel that it is becoming easier. But if you practice the way of science in studying this Ariya Dhamma, it should be the other way around. It should be getting harder and harder, because we'd not be able to complete this that way, because this is a very sophisticated area, and only a mind of a supreme Buddha will be able to understand this fully. And the basis of science is trying to understand it with the five senses most of the time. Experimentation, and then the what you do is you experiment, you observe, and you conclude. That is the way of this scientific template. So this, if you are right to apply this to the Dhamma, since it is something done with wisdom, you'd not be able to compare the two, or you'd not be able to apply these techniques to the Ariya Dhamma. It is not compatible. The compatibility is totally different. So the example I thought of giving you is, so this digging this hole. So don't dig it towards the core of the earth, because when you do that, it becomes harder. The oxygen level is not going to help, and you would end up in nowhere, in a place that you don't understand. So instead, you come from the inside to the outside. I'll give you an example. So initially, when I knew, when I was learning as a student, I knew how my ears work. I knew exactly how the sound waves are coming to the tympanic membrane, and from that there are three bones, and from that to the from the middle ear to the inner ear, and from that auditory nerve to the brain, and at the brain it is processed, and everything was known. But I did not know, it did not click to me that we are not able to hear from our ears, but it is already there in the explanation as well, because the ear cannot hear, because the ear is just a membrane, and the outer tissues and membrane cannot hear, and auditory nerve cannot hear, and these bones and everything, anything of that sort in the outer part cannot hear, but it is the mind that can hear. Or let's say in a scientific background, you would say the electrical signals in the mind. At least I did not understand to that extent. At least I did not think that it is the brain that can hear, not the ear. But that level also was not there in me at that point. But in the explanation itself, it is there that I cannot listen from my ears, because it is just a receiving of a vibration happens at the level of the ear. So it is only after Abhayratana Thero explained in his sermon that we are not able to hear from our ears. It is our mind that can hear, because if you say mother, let's say it's two syllables, ma and the, ma has to come first, and the membrane is vibrated, and everything, the mechanism is happening, and after that it is taken up to the mind, and ma, the mind which can recognize the sound ma is emanated, and it is deteriorated and ends in demise. And then again the membrane is vibrated, and there comes, and there is taken in, and the mind which can recognize the sound there is emanated, deteriorated, and ends in demise. And after that the Mano state comes, and it combines the two, and now we have mother, the sound only, and after that it is recognized with the past experience, and you have learned the word mother, and you know the shape of it, and you are comparing the current shape to the previous shape, and you find a perfect match, and then you understand that it is mother. So I did not know this, though I knew the complex mechanism, how these vibrations are taken in. So that is what happens. We knew we knew how the ear works, but we did not know it in that way, where the Ariya eyes are opened. Ariya eyes are very different. You don't need that complex mechanism to understand this. The ear cannot hear. It's the mind that can hear. You don't need that experience or the information of how the tympanic membrane is vibrated, and any of that is totally unnecessary. But when you have that kind of a knowledge, what happens is you are more focused on that rather than the simple thing that you have to understand. So that is why in one instance, Brahmin comes and asks Supreme Buddha, previously we have a lot of arihats, and the rate of arihats is very high. But why the rate of arihats, or the rate of becoming arihats, has become lower over the time? And Supreme Buddha answers, it's because now the learned people or educated people are high in the society. So because of that, the amount of arihats are less. So it has been a very good, what do you call, teaching or an eye opener for all of us, because we tend to go after the mechanisms and everything. Yes, we need to know the mechanism, and through the mechanism try to simplify it, not to exaggerate it, or not to make it more detailed and harder. Try to simplify it, make it easier, because even a 7-year-old child could attain Arihat. It should be that easy. So it is getting easier. So I'll explain how that gets easier. So for the initial part, when you learn about anicca, dukkha, and anatta. So initially anicca, you cannot understand the word anicca. It is a very deep explanation. So and a deep idea. So a normal person, if you just say anicca, would not understand anything. But so because of that, we explain anicca. So we use various examples. We use your live examples and the life experiences, and we are trying to simplify this, or we are trying to expand this anicca as much as possible in a very simple way. How this becomes anicca, that becomes anicca, how everything becomes anicca, how sankhara becomes anicca, how vinnana becomes anicca. We are explaining in different templates, different ways. We are explaining rupa, vedana, sanya, sankhara, vinnana anicca, and in another way we are explaining chakku, sota, ghana, jivha, kaya, rupa, sabda, gandha, rasa, sparsha, pottabha, and dhamma are also anicca, dukkha, anatta. Like that, we are explaining in different ways. To do what? To give you that idea of anicca. That is the first phase that we have discussed. To make somebody understand the core concepts. Otherwise, you are lacking the main important part in your core understanding. So if a part of the core understanding is missing, you would not be able to proceed to the second stage, where you are practicing as well as discussing. Both, you are doing both in that stage. So to do that, or let's say when you have this understanding of anicca fully, so after that, you have taken the important facts from the external world. That means from a kalyana mitta or from listening to discussions, sermons, whatever. So after that, you are trying to contemplate on what you have got. You are trying to process it in your mind. And that is the thing we call as digang asasamiti pajanati. So you are thinking in using anicca very descriptively. So you are trying to work with your mind with anicca. So it's just like when you are trying to learn swimming. So to start learn swimming, you have to practice the technique. So likewise, you are practicing the technique of anicca. You are doing it you are applying to each and everything that happens in your life, and you are adding it, applying it in a very descriptive manner. So when you do that, you are doing it for anicca, dukkha, and anatta, everything, but we are only discussing anicca here. So when you do that, what happens is a feeling about anicca is now cultivated in your or starting to cultivate in your mind. So you get a feeling about anicca. You get this feeling about essencelessness, pointlessness, a feeling of it, not just mere facts, but a feeling. So now this feeling starts to develop, and it gets stronger by the day. It gets stronger and stronger. And when that happens, the amount of description or the descriptive nature of anicca that you put to the external world becomes reduced, and it becomes shrinked. It is shrinking, because you can get the same feeling with now with 10 words, and after some time you can get the same feeling with just 2 or 3 words. Anichang would be just enough. Anicca would be just enough. So likewise, it should become easier, not the other way around. You may be listening to the 25 ways of how Uppada and 25 ways of Vaya. So Uppada Vaya Jnana has 50 ways of explanation. So Avijja Samudaya, Rupa Samudaya, Avijja Samudaya, then Tanha Samudaya, Rupa Samudaya. Then there's this Kamma Samudaya, Rupa Samudaya. Then there's this Santati Lakkanang, Rupa Samudaya. Then there's Ahara Samudaya, Rupa Samudaya. So these are the 5 ways Rupa are created or come to origin or emanated is the better word. So you have 5 ways how Rupa is become Nirodha. So that is Avijja Nirodha, Rupa Nirodha. Then Tanha Nirodha, Rupa Nirodha, Kamma Nirodha, Nupa Nirodha, Ahara Nirodha, Rupa Nirodha, Viparinama Lakkana, Rupa Nirodha. So for Rupa there are 10. So Vedana there are 10. Sanya, Sankara, Vinnana, 10 into 5, 50. So likewise, there are 50 ways of understanding anicca. This is the very technical way of approaching anicca. And it should not go beyond from that. And what should happen is, after understanding that much of description, it should become easier. It should become, the description should shrink in the sense you would be able to understand the same level of you would be able to have the same level of wisdom in just few words, few sentences, and it should again shrink, and you would be able to have the same level of understanding, same level of feeling should come with just one word. Anicca should be enough. So likewise, it should shrink. So initially the kammatthana would be very long, and in the later stages kammatthana would be very, very short. It's something like there's a kammatthana called world is essenceless, nibbana is full of essence. Now that is a karmasthana. Now in that karmasthana, the feeling is if you are practicing that karmasthana, you should have a higher level of understanding, higher level of wisdom, because you just have very short karmasthana. You have to have that exact feeling you would be having after 5 minutes of description in your mind in just word is essenceless. And in the second verse, you have Nibbana is full of essence. And that also should have a very strong feeling, which you might have taken few minutes of descriptive analysis in your mind to achieve previously. But now you are achieving it in just 3 words, 3 or 4 words. And after some time, you just won't need the first part as well. You don't need the word is essential. So now you get that part automatically. You are just focusing on Nibbana is full of essence. Nibbana is full of essence. Nibbana is full of essence. That is enough to combine and agglomerate all the feeling all together. Every feeling about anicca, dukkha, anatta, and the essence, the blissfulness of nibbana, everything is packed in that short sentence. And after some time, you'd not want that full of essence as well. You just recite nibbana, 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 nibbana. That would be just enough. And after some time, you just would not want that word as well. You just can feel it without even words. So it should expand in this way, not the other way around, not the way that you expand on a lot of details. Details should become lesser and lesser. So this is the second phase, where the details become lesser and lesser. The Dhamma becomes easier and easier. So you previously you had to explain it to yourself for few minutes, and now you are just understanding it with few words, and sometimes without even words. You just get the feeling. So it should work like that. And when that happens, it becomes easier, not the other way around. So I hope that is also clear. That is a message I wanted to give you. So that is not an answer to the question. So it is just what I felt that you needed to listen when you are practicing the Arya pathway. So then we have I think that would be it from the questions. If I have missed anything from the questions, or if you have any other questions, we can continue the discussion based on that. And till you have, if you are typing any questions, we'll have some time for that. And until that time, I wanted to say that we had that Punyanamodana, which was done for the ceremony, which was held on February last week also in the memory of late Abherathanalankara Thero. And in that, only two participants were there, but I think Mrs. Ansio could not join because she had already informed that. So if you can join today after this discussion, I can continue with the Anumodana part for you. I just wanted to remind that because you missed the Anumodana, and so we did not do your part, and we have that to be done. So we have another question. So what is the meaning of Upadana Paccha Bhava? So the Upadana Paccha Bhava means, can we, what's the next part here? How can we see that in our daily life? So it's like this. So let's take a live example or of a Paticca Samuppada here. So someone becomes angry. So no, someone becomes attached to something. So let's say this person likes shoes or footwear, well, any kind of footwear. So you like black shoes, and you are seeing a pair of black shoes in a showroom. After you see this pair of black shoes, what happens, since you have this anusaya for avijja, and you have this liking for black shoes, you have nicca sukha atta subha mindset for shoes. As soon as you see the shoes, or chakku vinyana, and is created in your mind, or when the shoes are met with your eye, creating the vinyana, and based on that information starts avijja paccaya sankara. So avijja paccaya sankara is leading to a mindset, which is the shoe liking mindset, or the mindset that likes black shoes. So that is the vinyana. Avidya paccaya sankara, sankara paccaya vinyana. And in this vinyana comes nama rupa, or that changes, or that there's different ways of understanding this Paticca. So we'll go with one version where nama rupa is the changing of the mind to a state where your mind becomes deficient of, or not only your mind, but chakku, sota, gana, jiva, kaya, and mana. This is called 6 organs. 6 organs become 6 ayatana or salayatana. And in this state, ayatana means the deficient organ systems. So the deficient organ system is created by the mindset itself, and this mindset creates this deficient organ system so that it can experience the delusional blissfulness. So that mindset which likes what do you call black shoes creates this body, and it makes it deficient by a process of nama rupa, and the end result is deficient eye, deficient ears, deficient nose, tongue, body, and mind. So since they are deficient, the touch of that shoe or a pair of shoes would be felt as distorted, and that is called sampassaja vedana. So the vedana would be distorted, or the feeling would be distorted, and this distorted feeling would have a increased or distorted value to it. And since it has a distorted value, there would be tanha, so you would be getting attached to it, and this attachment would lead to upadana, or clinging, And this clinging means now your mindset is clinged or heavily attached to this pair of shoes. Now you cannot get that your mindset is, you cannot get your mindset out of that pair of shoes. Always it thinks about, or the mindset always or the train of thoughts always moves towards that pair of shoes. So it is so bonded. So that is attachment. This is bonding. Attachment leads to bonding. It is something like you paste something with glue and it is just pasted or attached. But after glue becomes dry, it becomes very, what do you call, it becomes bonded to that, to the other item. So since the glue is dried off, you cannot separate the two items. Initially, when the glue was wet, you could, but when the glue is bonded or it is dried up, you cannot separate the two items. So that is like clinging, and that is like upadana. Upadana would lead to that bhava. That bhava means here the bhava or the state of being of liking black shoes, or bhava or liking black shoes. That is that state in mind that that likes black shoes. So that would make you a person that likes black shoes, or raga bhava, or raga jati. Raga jati here is a person who likes black shoes. So that is that is an example. So it can we can apply to anything. So it can be something, if you get attached to something else, you just have to go in the same direction, and you have to just put that to the same template and you would get an answer. So I hope that is clear. If you don't get what was explained, and can you, if you could be more specific of what you want to understand with this, please put another question or a statement or whatever you like. So the second one, this sermon reminded me of the importance of maintaining Niramisa Sukha, the cooling down of Vedana without any forceful act. Rather thinking of what Dhamma concept forcefully towards myself, but following the Anapanasati. Yes, now, what you said is correct. So you should not increase the Dhamma Vijaya. So you know the Saptha Bojjanga. We had already discussed about Saptha Bojjanga, and in this Saptha Bojjanga, the three, you know how it is practiced: 3 at one end and the other 3 at the other end. So you have to shift from one to the other. You have to have the Sati Sambhojjanga always. You have to have that at all times, and you have to change from first 3 to the second 3. So the first 3 is Virya, Dhamma Vijaya, and Preeti. So Virya is effort. If you put effort for something so badly, you become exhausted. So you have to change at that point. So Virya, Dhamma Vijaya is just thinking about Dhamma and focusing on Dhamma, so that with Preeti. So initially the Preeti comes, but if the effort is so high and it becomes exhausting, then the Preeti also goes away. So the concept of Sattva Bojjanga also falls down, and you cannot practice. Now what happens is dosa, or the Paticca mindset would come. So what we would do is we do the Dhamma Vijaya in a very light manner with what you understand. When you do that, the Preeti would develop, and priti manassa kayo passaddati. Now the passati is very it is it comes as the priti grows. Passati also is there, very in the vicinity, you can say. So you can feel it on the side, in the side, but you are not still focusing on the other three. Now, when you feel the passadi, because priti leads to the passadi anyway, priti manasa kaya passadati, if you ignore it, you are just focusing on the first three, and the passadi would just go away, and priti also would go away, and you would be out of the road. If you can remember the example where we talked about driving, and we compared driving to practicing Saptha Bojjanga. So you would go off road if you practice more. If you practice Dhamma Vijaya, Virya, and Preeti more, and if it becomes excessive, and you would be becoming exhausted, and you would not be able to practice Aripati, you would be getting off the road. So before that, when the Pasadi comes, and when the Pasadi is in a little bit of a stronger state, you have to shift to Pasadi, both Kaika Pasadi or bodily Pasadi as well as mental Pasadi. Pasadi is the lightness. This is the bodily lightness of the body as well as the lightness of the mind. Lightness means when you are getting rid of attachment, you feel the world is very you feel the floating sensation. It is felt in your body, as well as you are mentally feeling that you are getting rid of attachments, and you are now free. So that freeness, when you keep focusing on that freeness, the other three bojjangas would be practiced: samadhi, upekha, and pasadi. So when these three are practiced, again, if you practice this more, then it is also not good, because it would get you off the road again from the other end. So you should know exactly when to turn back to virya, because you would feel that your mind is shrinking. If your mind is shrinking, you'd not be feeling like any Dhamma Vijaya. You would not be feeling like meditating. You would feel like getting out of the meditation. You would feel like your mind is just turned off. Whatever of these can happen. And before that, you have to change back to the effort, and you have to turn on this motor and think about Ariya Dhamma. And this is to not to complicate Dhamma more and more, but to simplify it with the process. And that is what needs to be understood. Yes, that is why Sila Samadhi Prajna works. I actually feel good at contemplating Dhamma concept smoothly after I get in Samadhi. Yes. So when you get into Samadhi, that is the perfect background for Panya. Sila, Samadhi, Panya. You would not be able to enter a Samadhi without Sila, because that is the ground that you sit on or that you stand on. Without the ground, you would not be able to stand on it. Only if you could stand on the ground, you would be able to do something, because without standing, you would not be able to perform something. So you need the ground to stand on, and then to perform. The part where you perform is wisdom. Part where you stand up is samadhi. Part which you stand on is sila. So sila, samadhi, panya is very important. So since we have not got any more questions, I think we can wind up.
Yes, Theran Sannai Swaminathan. Does anyone have any more questions regarding today's sermon or any related questions? If not, we have already, I think, stayed up for 2 hours. Thero, by having abundant metta towards us. You have preached blissful Dhamma today, and we rejoice in your meritorious deed. And I would kindly ask, can I request you to do a small anumodana for us to end the sermon, if so?
Sure. So we have been discussing Ariya Dhamma for more than almost 2 hours, right? And for now, almost 2 hours now. So you know that we have already discussed, and we have discussed all the time, that thinking about anicca, dukkha, anatta, and trying to understand it and listening to Ariya Dhamma is the highest meritorious deed that we can do in this world, because it ends the sansaric journey, because it is endless, because it is infinite. We are trying to end something which is infinite. And if something infinite comes to a halt, or if something infinite seeks to exist, then something or the thing that does that is immeasurable. So in that sense, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha is immeasurable. And the meritorious deed that does that is also immeasurable, because it would not be able to wear out. These meritorious deeds, meritorious power would not wear out until the sansara ends, because sansara would be ending before the meritorious power ends. So we have done that power, that much of that kind of a powerful meritorious deed today. So all the meritorious deeds that you meritorious power that you have generated through these Dhamma discussions, through asking questions, through listening to Dhamma, through contemplating on Dhamma, may agglomerate together, creating the removing all the hindrances, barriers, and obstacles in your pathway, and may everyone be able to complete their journeys by opening up the eyes of wisdom through a Kalyana Mitta, and completing the rest of their pathway by practicing the Eightfold Noble Pathway. So accept this blessing with a sadhukara.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu.
And also, let us remind ourselves about all the disease relations that we had throughout this samsara, in this lifetime especially, and also in this sansaric journey, and also the ones who have helped us throughout this sansaric journey, teachers, parents, the ones who have showed us what is right and what is wrong throughout this sansaric journey, and the ones who gave us jobs, the ones who constructed our houses, roads, and all the infrastructure, and ones who helped us to have this Dhamma discussion, the ones who are maintaining these temples and paying for these internet connections, and sponsoring for these electronic devices and everything, and also the ones who were hurted and harmed by us in this sansaric journey without knowing what is right and what is wrong. We have done various unwholesome acts towards them, and let us acknowledge our faults in this special occasion and determine ourselves that we are not going to do those kinds of wrongdoings again. And with that, we'll transfer these meritorious power to them, as well as a compensation for our wrongdoings in this special occasion, and also the ones in the godly realms and in the planes of Brahma. And let us remind all the sentient beings in the universe as well. If they are in miserable places, may they refrain from doing sins. If they are in blissful planes, may they understand the reality, may they understand the value of Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and may they get rid of those distorted views, distorted ideas, and may they rejoice in the Buddha, Dhamma, in triple gems, and may they rejoice in these meritorious deeds, and may they understand the importance of these meritorious deeds. And if they are wherever they are in this universe, let us spread this meritorious power to them as well, and may they rejoice these meritorious deeds in a delighted mindset, and may they be happy with life, refreshness, power and wisdom, ultimately completing the Arya pathway, ending the samsaric journey, attaining Nibbana. So accept this blessing by transferring these meritorious deeds to them with metta and sadhukara, with metta, with a sadhukara.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So we'll end up this discussion with a Pali blessing. Abhivadana silissa nichang vaddha pachayino chatharo dhamma vaddanti ayu anno sukham balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha atho nibbana sampatti minate samichyatu. May everyone attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante.
Theruvan Sarana, everyone.
Thiruvan Sarnai, Swami.
Everyone, Saranai.
Thiruvan Sarnai, everyone.